Hi, this is Eli Kranzberg, and welcome to Session Bassist ICON BASS Explained. Now, this is a really great instrument. As with all of the session bassist and session guitar instruments, it combines a pattern-based library, in this case of bass sounds, with a sophisticated, well-laid-out multi-sample set, so you can combine playing patterns, modifying the patterns, and playing your own bass parts in any combination that you want. Now, in this instrument, the Icon bass, the samples originate from a 1989 electric solid body bass guitar with active electronics. So it's got a two-band boost EQ that you can get to in the effects section that really add and enhance the quality of this bass sound. Now, there are two instruments with Icon bass. We have Icon bass instrument, which is used for playing back patterns exclusively. And then we have the melody version, which allows you to play your own bass lines and combine them with the included patterns all within a single instrument. So let's bring this in and just take a quick look around the interface. So here we see 8 slots that'll contain different patterns, and the first 4 are loaded in, and these are the key switch trigger notes. So for example, if I hold down that C1, and you can see what I'm pressing here on the keyboard, if I hold that down, it'll then trigger that pattern in whatever key I use in this playable range. So for example, I'll hit G, and I'll hit it in F, and it's triggering the appropriate key, and I can use my left hand to move through the key switch notes and the different versions of the, or variations of the pattern related to this song. There's the C sharp. Back to the C. So the idea is that these are the key switch notes that trigger the patterns based on whatever key we play in the right hand. And we can load additional patterns into these slots so that we can get up to 8 and we can modify them and so on. We'll explore all this in more detail. And here we get Song Browser, where we can load in different, for example, collections of patterns. Here's another set. And so on. And they're all modifiable in many ways. I can use this to scroll through next and previous patterns on each slot individually. And I can use this to drag and drop the MIDI. And I can use this to get into a pattern browser where we can mix and match patterns from different collections of patterns. So we get a unique set. And we can also modify them in terms of when they start, when they don't start. And there's different search criteria. We'll go into all the detail with all this. And then the empty slots, we select it and we can do the same thing, load up a pattern from wherever we want and create the set that we want. Now we have a bass settings tab where we can control the sound of the instrument with these various parameters. And then we have an amp and effects section where we can load in different effects and edit them in various ways. And then we have some playback controls for how the patterns are going to play back. Now back on the main page, we have sound presets, and these will call up different combinations of amp and effect settings and bass settings and so on to change the sound. We can optionally, you see it just changed when I changed the preset. We can optionally link it to the song so that when we're on the pattern page and change the whole collection, that the sound set will change as well or not. And that's the big picture. Now, if I load in the melody version of the instrument, here we have actual articulations on these first key switch slots. We can choose if we want a pick sound or a finger sound, and then we can play our own parts in. And switch articulations. And of course, switch between them. We have flageolet, which is like a harmonic. And slap and pop. And there's a nice way to control that in terms of the length of the note held. We'll explore all that. We can adjust the fret positions for where or which string is used to trigger the notes and so on. We can switch between polyphonic and mono. And here we have 4 slots that contain patterns. So with these key switch notes, you can mix and match using patterns versus playing your own notes. And then the rest of the interface is the same as the Icon bass instrument. So that's an overview of the Session Bassist infrastructure, and we'll dig in for deep dives starting in the next video.